We are kicking off with The Rock, as earlier this week reports came out saying that he wouldn't be appearing at WrestleMania due to his busy schedule outside WWE. On Instagram this week, a fan shared a comment on a post from the final boss asking about the reports, and Rock advised fans don't believe any of that shit. The Rock's return at Bad Blood has excited fans to see what's next for the final boss, and right now, it appears that a role at WrestleMania is back on the table. Potential matches include a showdown with Cody Rhodes or a triple threat that'd include Roman Reigns. And what do you want to see from The Rock next April in Vegas? Last month, Rikishi asked fans to pray for the health of Jimmy Uso, and given that this request was during Jimmy's absence, fans feared that something awful had happened to the superstar. Jimmy has since returned to WWE TV, where he appeared fine, and now Rikishi has taken to his Off the Top podcast to explain that his request for prayers was misunderstood. The Hall of Famer said he wasn't implying that Jimmy was in the hospital or facing serious health issues, but simply wanted prayers for his son's well-being as any father would. He said, "God forbid I even say anything on social media. You know, everybody thought that Jimmy was in the hospital. All I said was send a prayer to my son. That's it, as any father would give any son. You know, just pray for my son, that's it. I didn't say nothing he was in the hospital. I just pray for his health. That's what I was saying. Oh hell, I got so much slack for just a father trying to send some prayers for his boy." While Rikishi had the best of intentions, his comments received a lot of backlash, and thankfully Jimmy is well and in a solid angle with Roman Reigns as they look to battle the new bloodline. We'll have to wait and see how their storyline progresses in the coming weeks, as it's clear Rikishi won't be making comments about Jimmy Uso's health anytime soon. But what do you think? Was Rikishi's quest simply a father wishing support for his son, or did Rikishi know how his comments would have been taken? Sound off below. Over to WrestleDream, as Swerve Strickland made his return at the event after being sidelined since All Out and didn't waste time in making waves. Accompanied by Prince Nana, Strickland was frustrated about no longer being AEW World Champion and announced that he is medically cleared. Things took a turn when MVP and Shelton Benjamin appeared, and MVP pointed to his impressive career and history of managing champions, stating his resume speaks for itself. MVP added that he saw something in Swerve from the beginning, referencing their past match in Defy, and is interested to do business with Strickland. Swerve acknowledged MVP as a trailblazer for black wrestlers like himself, but made clear his loyalties lie with Prince Nana, despite some frustrations with Nana in the past. Swerve made a jab at Nana's coffee side hustle, but told MVP he doesn't turn his back on family, going as far as to tell MVP, "You can shove those business cards up your ass." Benjamin stepped in, telling Swerve he'd misread the situation and made clear it was time to choose sides, and the two men shoved one another before officials intervened to stop a potential brawl. Since MVP's debut at Grand Slam, he has had his sights set on managing Strickland, even criticizing Nana's handling of Swerve, but with Swerve saying no, the stage is set for a feud. What do you think about Swerve's decision to stick with Prince Nana? Should he have taken MVP's offer, or did he make the right call staying loyal to family? Let us know in the comments. After Jack Perry retained the TNT title against Katsuyori Shibata, the Scapegoat attacked his challenger, prompting Daniel Garcia to try and make the save. This would bring out MJF, who made his first appearance since All Out, who has since reclaimed the Dynamite Diamond ring that Garcia had stolen and pawned. As MJF prepared to hit Garcia with the ring though, Adam Cole made an appearance, and though he didn't get physical, his presence was enough to send MJF retreating. Cole was without a protective boot, suggesting that his foot injury is fully healed and he's ready to compete, though we continue to await confirmation that this is the case. What we can say is that MJF and Cole are once again at odds, and where do you see this storyline going next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. During the 0-hour kickoff before WrestleDream, fans saw a face from WWE's past, as Rico Constantino was revealed as an ally of the MXM collection. The fashion stylist/wrestler joined Mason Madden and Mansoor for their match against the Acclaimed, who had Billy Gunn, and referenced his old theme song saying, "You look so good to me." Rico and Gunn have a history, as Rico was the manager of the Billy and Chuck tag team, which ended just before the pair tied the knot in 2002 as a publicity stunt devised by Rico. Despite this surprising return, the Acclaimed defeated MXM, ensuring that scissoring lives another day despite the model's best efforts. The main event of WrestleDream kicked off at 11:20 p.m. Eastern, and while the crowd showed signs of fatigue, they were still excited for the match. Jon Moxley attacked Bryan Danielson as the champ posed for his entrance, and the pair brawled at ringside as the final countdown continued to play. Moxley was as aggressive as we've ever seen him, and he looked like he genuinely wanted to end Danielson's in-ring career by injuring him. Marina Shafir interfered several times whenever Moxley could distract the ref, and she removed some of the padding at ringside to expose the concrete floor. The two men in the ring tried to make this feel violent and personal instead of going for technical exchanges, and even Nigel McGuinness was split because Moxley was being so dislikable. Mox asked Danielson not to make him do it before hitting a pile driver and locking in a choke, and once the ref decided Bryan could no longer compete, Moxley was declared the winner and the new AEW World Champion. The way it ended felt a bit anticlimactic, though fans had predicted a title change, and if this result wasn't shocking enough, what came next was. Wheeler Yuta and Darby Allin saved Danielson from a beatdown, but Yuta then turned on Allin and took him out before Moxley handed Yuta a plastic bag, and he suffocated Danielson with it. Allin was duct taped to the ropes and forced to watch Castagnoli crush Danielson's neck in a chair before more people finally showed up to drive away Moxley's crew. The show ended with a ring full of staff tending to the downed Danielson, while notable names including Mark Briscoe and Jeff Jarrett watched him with great concern. As we mentioned, many fans had predicted a title change given what we know about Danielson's health and well-being in the ring. Speaking recently with The Undisputed, Danielson reflected on his 25 years in wrestling and the reality that any match could be his last. He said, "The reality is, no matter what happens at WrestleDream, I don't have much time left. October 4th, 1999 was my first ever wrestling match. In relation to those 25 years, I have a really short amount of time left. Any match can be your last match." Reflecting on his 2016 retirement, Danielson recalled the unlikely match that was his final match for years, a sign you can never truly know what your last match may be. He said, "I didn't think my last match would be tagging with Cena against Claudio and TJ Wilson, but it was, for 3 years. So whether this is my last match as a full-time wrestler or not, I know that time is coming soon. The reality is right now, I need neck surgery. That's coming sooner rather than later. There's going to become a point where this is untenable for me." As fans await Danielson's next move, many are wondering when he will retire fully from the ring. Do you think what we saw at WrestleDream was Bryan's last match? Share your thoughts below. In a quick recap of all the other results from WrestleDream, Brian Cage dethroned Atlantis Jr. to win the ROH TV title on the 0 Hour pre-show, while Anna Jay defeated Harley Cameron. The main event of 0 Hour saw the conglomeration's Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly team with the Outrunners to defeat the Dark Order and Premier Athletes. In our opening match of WrestleDream, Jay White beat Hangman Page before Mariah May retained her AEW Women's World title against Willow Nightingale. As we mentioned, Jack Perry retained the TNT title, but Will Ospreay couldn't keep the international title as he lost the gold to Konosuke Takeshita in a three-way with Ricochet. Hologram beat the Beast Mortos 2-1 in their 2 out of 3 falls match before Darby Allin bested Brody King. The Young Bucks retained their tag titles against Private Party, and Mark Briscoe retained the ROH World title against Chris Jericho. And in the main event, Moxley won the AEW World title, and we promise to bring detailed analysis of AEW's latest pay-per-view tomorrow. And we're ending with the OC, who have not been a unit for some time, given AJ Styles time away, the Good Brothers working in NXT, and Michin going solo on SmackDown. This week, though, Karl Anderson teased the group's reunion, as on his Instagram story, he shared a moment from 2 years ago of the OC confronting the Judgment Day. Anderson added the message, "So much unfinished business," as he would clearly like to reunite the group as a complete unit and once again dominate on WWE TV. Unfortunately, if that does happen, it likely won't be soon given Styles' injury suffered during his first match back on TV after months away. Hopefully the OC will reunite in due time, as the group was quite the unit when they were together, and time will tell if the faction once again rules on WWE TV in the future.